Have you ever cried over something small and then immediately wondered, why am I like this? Or maybe you've been told, you're too sensitive. Stop overreacting. It's not a big deal. But what if crying easily isn't weakness? What if it's actually a sign of something deeper, something psychological, and even powerful? Because the truth is, people who cry easily aren't just emotional. They experience the world differently. And once you understand why, you'll never look at tears the same way again. Let's be honest, crying has a bad reputation. From childhood, many of us are taught that crying is something to hide, something to control, something to be embarrassed about, especially if you cry too often. But here's what most people don't realize. Crying is not just an emotional reaction. It's a biological, psychological, and even social response. And people who cry easily are not broken. They are often more aware, more sensitive, and more deeply connected to their emotions than others. So today, we're going to explore the real psychology behind people who cry easily, what it says about their brain, their personality, and why it might actually be their hidden strength. The first reason is something called high emotional sensitivity. Some people are naturally wired to feel emotions more intensely, not just sadness, but also joy, empathy, nostalgia, and even beauty. This is often linked to what psychologists call highly sensitive persons, or HSPs. Their brains process emotional stimuli more deeply, which means even small events can trigger strong emotional responses, including tears. So when someone cries easily, it's not because the situation is too big. It's because their emotional experience is deeper. The second reason is high empathy. People who cry easily often feel not just their own emotions, but the emotions of others, almost as if they are their own. When they see someone in pain, they don't just understand it, they feel it. And this emotional mirroring can become overwhelming, leading to tears. In fact, studies suggest that highly empathetic individuals have more active mirror neurons, which makes their emotional experiences more intense and immediate. Now here's something fascinating. Crying is actually the body's natural way of releasing emotional tension. When emotions build up, stress, sadness, frustration, crying helps regulate and reset the nervous system. In other words, people who cry easily may actually be better at processing emotions. Instead of bottling things up, their body releases it in real time. And that can be incredibly healthy. But sometimes, crying easily is not just about sensitivity. It can also be linked to past experiences. People who have gone through emotional trauma or grew up in environments where emotions were intense may develop a lower threshold for emotional triggers. This doesn't mean they're fragile. It means their brain has learned to respond quickly to emotional cues as a way to protect itself. Another important factor is biology. Hormones like prolactin and cortisol influence emotional expression, which is why some people naturally cry more than others. Even factors like sleep, stress levels, and overall mental health can affect how easily someone becomes emotional. So sometimes, crying easily is not just psychological, it's physiological. Now here's the part most people don't talk about. People who cry easily often have hidden strengths. They are more emotionally aware, more compassionate, more authentic in their expression, and often, they build deeper, more meaningful relationships. Because they don't hide what they feel, they live it. Of course, like anything, balance matters. If crying becomes overwhelming or starts interfering with daily life, It might be a sign of underlying stress, anxiety, or emotional burnout. In such cases, understanding your triggers and learning emotional regulation techniques can make a huge difference. So the next time you see someone cry easily, or you find yourself tearing up over something small, remember this: it's not a flaw. It's not weakness. It's a sign that you feel deeply, that you connect deeply, that you are human in the most honest way possible. And in a world where people are constantly trying to hide their emotions, that might just be your greatest strength. If you relate to this, comment "I feel deeply" below. And don't forget to subscribe to Mind Science Simplified for more psychology insights that change how you see yourself.